Parang may kamay dun sa bintana. Yun o. Parang ang laki.
In the middle of the scene, a strange lump can be seen in the window. A shadow that clearly does not fit the situation that was developing on screen. Personally, I think it is a bird. Watch the video in slow motion and tell me if it's shaped like a bird.
Ang tingin ko map, yung map na pampuna sa sahig, parang may stick eh. Ulitin mo, may stick eh. O parang yung map binato sa bintana. O, parang ibon, di ba? O, ano to? Ito. Ano tong itim dito? O, parang stick. Huwag sabihin pa, ayan, ang haba no, no?
And if it can be that size. Our subscriber thought it could be another zombie, but its shape is very mysterious.
Yung artistang zombie binato sa bintana.
It doesn't seem to be a person. That ventures Jorge to theorize that perhaps something really creepy happened at this school, and perhaps the recording of the series disturbed the spirit that dwells here. Could it be that? Or is it really just a bird? As always, you be the judge.
Ang haba nung paano parang
Number
mag-iibon.
6.
Ewan, baka nga may ibon na ganun kahaba pa ah.
The following video corresponds to a musical clip by an urban singer in which they claim to observe the fainting of a man in the middle of filming. This clip has generated controversy on various social networks due to its authenticity. Therefore, I leave it to you to judge for yourself. Pay attention.
Parang wala akong nakita. Ah, ayun. Di ba kasama sa video yun?
What does it look like to you? Some say that it is just a person whose figure is lost behind a wall. However, upon analyzing it more closely, to you. Some say that it is just a person whose figure is lost behind a wall. However, upon analyzing it more closely, we realize that the subject begins to disappear before getting lost behind the wall. Do you notice that?
Dalawang dumaan eh.
Or figure is lost behind a wall.
Ayun oh. Kita nyo? Doon sa likod niya.
However, upon analyzing it more closely, we realize that the subject begins to disappear before getting lost behind the wall. Do you notice that?
Oo nga no.
It is something that is obviously beyond all logic. Could it be a spiritual entity, or simply a distortion in the image? Let me know your opinion.
We, para tuloy nakakaduda na tao lang yun na dumaan, kayo naman. Oh, dikinat, di ba?
It is something that is
pagdating niya, ayun na yung lalaki eh.
Obviously beyond all logic.
Uy, hindi na pa
Could it
nakita.
be a spiritual entity, or simply a distortion in the image? Let me know your opinion.
Lumakad lang. Comment nyo dyan sa baba. Tama ako. I-comment nyo dyan sa baba.
Number 5.
Tira ulong to
In this position, we find ourselves with a strange event that occurred in a renowned soap opera, which, as incredible as it may seem, went practically unnoticed by the millions of viewers and fans of this production. An occurrence that no one investigated at the time, and that was immortalized in the scene that I will show you below. I ask you to pay close attention to see if you can notice it.
Doña Hilda Catalina ya llegó.
Oh, ano problema?
Sí, ya llegó.
Ayan, nakikita ko Ang ang bilis nun Ayun Kitang-kita ko, men. Ayan pa diba? Kitang-kita ko. Linaw ng mata ko ngayon. Ayun talaga
Did you see it?
Kita-kita ko talaga.
It was only fractions of a second. However, despite the short exposure time, you could see a strange whitish shadow
yun talaga. Alam mo yung saglit na saglit mo lang nakita, pero tumatatak talaga sa isip ko. Parang hindi ko siya makalimutan.
covered almost the entirety of the scene. What was that? I remind you that in general, the shots are captured in a controlled environment that makes it almost impossible for interruptions
Di rin ako mapalagay.
to occur during filming. However, this obvious fact practically ruins the scene. Any quality director would have asked for the scene to be recorded again, unless, of course, they did not do a quality review. This leads me to assume that incredibly it was not seen by anyone, not even the cameraman, who is supposed to be the main person responsible for ensuring that each scene comes out as perfect as possible. What could that have been? Could it be then that it was not actually seen during filming? Unfortunately, no one from the production team ever referred to the subject,
May anino sa likod
leaving this scene as testimony that something else
Ayun may gumalaw muna dito bago dumaan dun sa camera.
was present at that moment.
Hindi ko alam kung ano yun. Pero kitang-kita ko talaga.
Number 4. Davian Gomez, a subscriber to the channel, declares himself a loyal follower of everything that has to do with Asian films and series, paying attention to each of the characters as well as each location where it is filmed. This is why, while doing this exercise, he came across a mysterious sequence while watching the movie The Depths, a film that, although it has a dark setting, what appeared on the screen had nothing to do with the plot. Pay attention and don't take your eyes off the bags that this man throws into the sea.
May binatong dalawang bagay. Marami siyang binabato. Baka nahinangin lang. Shoo! Ayun may hawak siyang plastic
Did you notice?
Parang may umihila. Parang hindi nga siya Parang imposibleng hinangin nga
A strange shadow begins to move across the ground
Hindi naman, sobra ka naman. Hawak niya yung strange shadow sinasabi mo. Plastic yata yun. Ayun, oh.
A strange shadow begins to move across the ground until it disappears from the image. Our subscriber believes it is paranormal because it cannot be the shadow of a bird. It is too slow for it to be a shadow of a bird in flight. Furthermore, this scene was recorded on a cloudy day. The sun was hidden, which is why it is impossible for any
Shadow, plastic yun.
to have
Ayun, oh, hawak
been
niya.
cast at the time.
Ang iniisip ko, baka may humila o hinangin.
However, for me, I think it is one of the bags that had nothing inside and it flies off with the wind.
Oh,
But its
bumabawi.
movement is curious.
Oo,
What
ganun
are
din
your
ako.
theories?
Feeling ko, napipil ko yung
Number
napipil mo.
3. There are many who today are dedicated to searching for and discovering continuity errors in newly released films to expose them. However, there are also those who, when watching old movies, have come across quite strange scenes that for others go completely unnoticed. Such is the case of Francisco Palomino, a subscriber of the channel who, while watching the action movie Tango and Cash, starring the renowned actor Sylvester Stallone, encountered a subtle but at the same time mysterious situation. Observe.
Si revisaras tu correspondencia.
Bueno, en defensa de Tango ha estado en prisión. Estaba bajo contenido.
Oo nga, no? May lumakad. Baka ano yan? Baka nagkamali lang yung halaman ng pwesto. Ano yun? Takot kaya? Oh.
As can be seen in the image, no one from the production can be seen who entered the scene by mistake. For Francisco, that shadow does not match that of a person, and it doesn't even match anything known. For me, maybe it could be a dog. Look at the scene again with brightness and contrast correction, and tell me what you see.
Anino ng pinahihirapan mo kami, Eleanor, eh.
What is that projecting? It is a question that after so many years since the release of this film is practically impossible to answer. Number 2.
Si Stallone, parang Italiano pala si Stallone. Mahilig daw yun magbigay ng Italian sausage.
Like the previous subscriber, Joey is also a regular follower who declares himself a fan of 80s and 90s movies. His hobby has led him to discover unusual and disturbing situations in scenes that have nothing to do with the original plot. One of the strangest, according to him, occurred in the movie Young Again. starring and at the time emerging Keanu Reeves. In one of the
Maribig
shots,
Soriano,
the
shout
actor
out.
is seen accompanied by something that our subscriber cannot clearly define. Pay attention.
Ano problema? Ay! May ulo.
In the sequence, you can see something looking out the window. Although this scene was recorded in a real location and not on a recording set, in general, the behind-the-scenes staff and possibly spectators must remain out of the camera's focus. However, they can still filter and peek in to see what's happening. So, is it a ghost? Or is it a person?
Si Sadako yun.
Tell me what you think.
Oh.
Number 1.
Si Jerry Maloloy, shout out.
We conclude this video with a strange image that Mary Carmen, a regular
Siya ulit?
subscriber, saw while watching the Netflix documentary miniseries Justice for Little Gabrielle. It was during the first chapter that the camera records what, according to her, is the presence of a disturbing face that can be seen behind the window. Observe.
Nasaan? Ngayon ko na nakita yun ah. Yung puwet?
In the scene, you can clearly see what appears to be a pale and disturbing deformed face that seems to remain static looking towards the camera.
Mukha pala, kala ko puwet.
A face that does not correspond to that of a person, and that apparently was not noticed by any of the staff in charge of this audiovisual production.
O, di may mukha talaga mukhang puwet.
Could it be real? Or is it just an error of perception?
Oo,
Can you
pwede.
motivate yourself to give any rational explanation to this image? Let me know your opinion in the comments box, as this video has come to an end.
Di ko siya kasi makitang mukha.
My name is Leonor Clay, and this was The Darkest Secret.
Don't forget to subscribe, The Darkest Secret. Ano yung sinasabi? May POV daw bago.